Hello, listeners. It's Toni Bee coming to you to present the PB&J Hour. The PB&J Hour. We are here in Cambridge, PB&J. The PB&Jers are P for Chad Parenteau,
How you doing?
B for Toni Bee, hey now, and J for Jason Wright.
Holla.
It's at the end of January. We're here sitting at some table in someone's house in Cambridge, and we are back at you. Give you a little updates about Stoneball, Oddball, Be Cool. I know the coolness had issues because last time I didn't make it to the last podcast because blah, 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 blah. But they will explain that to you later.
And hopefully the podcast, which I've already deemed, it has not come out yet, but I've already deemed it to be 1.5 episode, the 1.5 episode.
On the Richter scale of awesomeness.
Exactly. Yes. And you're going to, the tentative title is Where You Be, as
Toni was absent.
And then it was left with us two schmucks to have to continue the show. Not only doing a live pod, not only doing it by ourselves without the nexus.
But in front of a live audience.
But we like schmucks. Schmucks are oddballs who create stone soup. And sometimes they be cool, although I wasn't because I didn't arrive that night. But
One Girl, Two Schmucks is going to be the alternative title of this podcast.
There we go.
Word? Can I get a fist pump on that? We actually fist pump people. You can't see it. But I've been in on the side of the loop 1.5, so I'm that half person. So I got to know. What's popping with the three crews? What's up with Stone Soup, Chad?
Stone Soup is going on. I had a rough end of the year, so much so that I deemed that I was going to have a 13-month year this year and say, okay, the end of January is the end of my year. And I'm slowly getting out of my rut, and a nice little anecdote is that it's January 31st. Right now, yesterday I went to see my girlfriend, and she noticed I was wearing a red shirt, and she goes, "Oh, red's the color." I was teaching my kids all day about the lunar calendar, the Chinese New Year. So, and it was a good night spending it with her and just talking. So I'd like to think that all my rough stuff from the last few months of just being sick and her being sick is over, and now I truly feel that a new year has begun.
Yeah.
And we have some great features coming up with Stone Soup. We have Kristen Hill coming this Monday, which by the time this comes out, you might have missed it. I apologize. But Kristen Hill did an amazing poem on Oddball magazine. I hope you guys check that out after the fact. And best of all, we have Toni Bee, who you just heard give the amazing intro over the two of our ramblings. And she will be featuring the second Monday of February, which is February 10th. And I'm looking very forward to that, and I'm looking forward to actually updating the files. We have some exciting people that you don't know about because I haven't put in the people yet. We have Minion Ariel King coming in on March 10th. We have at the end of April Jennifer Jean, who is one of the people behind.
Yeah.
Yes, she is behind. She featured for Stone Soup a couple of years ago. She has a new book coming out, so she really wanted to feature. And for those of you who don't know, not only is she an amazing poet, but she's also one of the people who helped to organize the Massachusetts Poetry Festival.
She's a mommy. She's a mommy too.
She is a mother. She is a poet mom, much like January Gill O'Neill, the main mastermind of the Massachusetts Poetry Festival, which is coming up on May 2nd to May 4th. Why am I mentioning that?
Because drum roll.
I thought you were going to say.
No, tell him, Chad.
Because Stone Soup actually once again has a panel discussion on the weekend of the May 2nd to May 4th. I'm being vague about the date because I don't know what the date is. I just got word of the acceptance about 2 weeks ago. I submitted the information, the bio. The name of the panel discussion is Stone Soup Presents Oddball Magazine. Very apropos, and it basically talks about Stone Soup's partnership with Oddball Magazine and what we've done since then. And the panel discussion, well, for those of you who have found this podcast out in the wilderness, hopefully you live somewhere near New England or somewhere in Massachusetts. If not, there will be file footage of this. I'm really shooting for this. I'm really hoping for this to be. And by that I mean actually have it presented on either Saturday or Sunday. The last time we did the Stone Soup, our very first Stone Soup panel discussion, which was more of a Stone Soup retrospective. We had Carol Weston, we had James Van Looy, we had Dan Shanahan, who was one of the people who helped Stone Soup found Stone Soup Poetry, the venue back on Beacon Hill in the day.
With Jack Powers?
With
Jack Powers was a part of it then?
With the late Jack Powers, founded it back in 1971. It was more of a slideshow retrospective with performances, and that was amazing. The only thing that makes me feel bad thinking about it is that it was a Friday, and Friday is the toughest day for anyone to get there, from work. So
but that's okay. We're going to get mad people to come out.
I certainly hope so. You are on the roster. If you want to know who everyone that you're hearing today on this podcast is going to be there. Jason Wright, of course, who I'm clearly talking over because it's his baby, Oddball magazine. He's going to be there. He will read. He's going to explain as I go through the slide show.
The side show.
I will be the side show as I do the slide show and get him to talk about what Oddball is all about.
But you guys got to stay tuned to find more about it. Our secret. We're not good. We don't reveal our secrets. We're poets. Everything's on the sleeve. But what I found, what was very interesting, was Stone Soup presents Oddball. We're coming right back around to the whole merger thing. So I want to know, we know what Stone Soup's doing, Oddball. Where is our Oddball? Jason?
Well, Oddball is actually doing very well lately. We have had numerous successes since we've been publishing, every day now for the last 2 months, 3 months, and
about 3 months.
About 3 months. We've succeeded at every expectation that we could possibly probably go for right there. I mean, we're doing great. We put up a new person every day. We've been getting. I want to give a shout out to Natasha Head. She's in Nova Scotia, Canada. Boom.
Very well received piece,
Yeah,
and she
was
promotes
great.
us.
She was great. We had Adeline Joseph.
Yes, Adeline Joseph, because he was a past Stone Soup feature in
was
January.
amazing. He was amazing.
He was very good, and I'm hoping to get a video.
Adelian Joseph?
Yeah,
Yes.
Adeline Joseph.
He was a feature once.
We had.
Is that how you pronounce his first name?
I have no idea.
I don't
We're
know.
sorry.
I call him AJ. He knows
Yeah,
that.
AJ's what's up?
Saying AJ
He
can't
commented
consult.
today on the post from Monday.
Yes.
He posted he likes it. So I gotta give a little shout out to Culture. He was on the magazine.
Culture, the MC.
Dude, how awesome was that? Wazir Gray.
I just fainted.
Yeah, Wazir Gray was on the website. We premiered his newest song and video off of his new EP, which is fantastic. You got to check it out. You go on the Oddball site and you can definitely see it.
And of course, there's art.
We have Stacey Ash. She's great. She's been putting up calendar work for us. She not only does a little thing about Stacey Ash's art, and she's a poet too. She does it usually
on the iPhone, right?
on the iPad, right?
iPad.
Crazy. We have Allison Gold.
Allison Golden.
Her art is available.
Her art was really good this past week.
Yeah.
I lucked out with that because we had Joni DiMartino. Or Joanne DiMartino. She did Vincent Van Gogh as Lee Harvey Oswald, and it was in the shape of the ear, which caused me to hang myself.
Hey,
formatting
I gotta say, as associate editor, Chad, you really put together that piece really well.
It was really a wonderful coming together because I wasn't originally intending to publish her until a couple of weeks, but Erin Reardon was what really helped seal the deal. She was the nexus of it because her poem was very visceral, and so was the photo that Allison Golden did, and I wanted something equally visceral, and so it's almost like it's two female poets, and it's just like the theme seems to be viscerality and redness and almost
Well, redness is good. It's a new year, right?
I did want to say
it was a Chinese
New Year.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Red is what's up.
Did want to say one thing. If you're just tuning in to Oddball to the Oddball magazine site. You'll find that Chad is starting a new venture with some comics and political satire that looks pretty great. He did one last week with George Panagopoulos. I call him Pana.
And he's a friend of yours.
He's a friend of mine. I went to his when he was 8 or 12. I went to his birthday party. Then he went to a different school, and we found each other on Facebook.
And he's a political cartoonist.
Freaking amazing cartoonist. A little fun fact before the podcast, before Chad, before all this, he was my 100th post. It was political, and we put him on there. Well, I put him on there as the 100th post. You can definitely check it out.
How many posts do you have so far? Do you know?
I think we're over 300 now.
I don't think we're at 300. I think we're at 250.
We're gonna have to do something spectacular for 300, huh?
Yeah. Are we at 300? Can you check?
I'm checking our stats right now.
I know
we're checking right now.
I know we
of
had
course, this is
200
the Oddball Hour with PB and J. So we're moving along pretty steady.
Yeah.
I mean, for all that Chad said, this is Toni Bee talking, but for all that Chad said, for being sick and being down, and for the 13th month, big ups, because you maintained.
You maintained. You are better
You
now.
maintained. Way better than me.
It was the one thing keeping me going. One thing that I hope to do this year is just send out more
peace.
Send out more work. Send out more work. I didn't really intend for Oddball to be my main outlet to get published, but now I guess I have a regular column now, so now I have to think about that.
If you are lucky, maybe I'll publish you on Oddball. I'm just kidding. Chad, you are a dynamo. You are one of the most important people of Oddball Magazine right now, and we're actually really happy to have you on as a regular columnist.
And I'm trying to.
And Toni Bee is
just
speak.
I don't know. I'm trying.
You should speak.
I'm going. Be cool. That's me. That's in me. Poetry, music, and song.
Be cool is what she calls the whole ensemble.
The
of
whole
herself.
ensemble
of Toni.
Be cool.
Yeah, I mean, when I was Poet Populist of Cambridge,
Big
2011 to
ups.
13, a lot of what I tried to bring was poetry, music, and song. We had it at the venue of the Middle East restaurant. I'm gonna put it out there right now that the celebration, the 10th celebration of my 30th birthday, I'm hoping that we can have it at Middle East. But I'll talk to people I know. Anyway, really, a lot of what I've been doing now. My daughter's 12. I'm being mommy.
Yeah.
I'm doing mommy thing.
How is it to
getting
be
more serious, and really being on her studies. She's in middle school now, and she's on her thing. So I'm doing mommy stuff. But a lot of also what I'm doing is writing poetry, connecting with poets, seeing how I can get published on some kind of level in terms of a book. Chad's probably looking at me weird right now because I should have been done that. I should have been done that. But really,
I'm the last person to speak out on missed deadlines and such. If you knew my publishing history,
I have a deadline
before Oddball, my publishing deadline history was abysmal. So if you're expecting retribution from me, don't worry.
You know that Chad, Toni, I actually sent Chad, and the listeners don't know this, I sent him 200 original poems that I have not published yet. My train of thought, poems written on the red line from Quincy the Alewife. So maybe look at those when you get a chance.
We have a lot of stuff that we're up to. I mean, contrary to what Toni might give you contrary to what Toni might be giving you the wrong idea. Toni is very busy with her own activities.
Okay. I am working for the Wang, a.k.a. City Performing Arts Center.
Which is amazing.
And so I have an awesome opportunity that's come up.
Oh, yes.
Y'all know I'm a Jesus freak, so I'm going to say it. God provided me the opportunity to read the I Have a Dream speech, to do an interactive reading of I Have a Dream speech. It's a book, and it's illustrated by Kadir Nelson, one of my favorite children's books writer. So during the month of February, by the time we connect with you all again and do our next podcast, I may have been moving through communities in Boston and Cambridge. So there are ways that this whole poetry thing has taken me onto another avenue. Okay, so I'm reading the speech. In the speech,
where?
There's 2 songs. I'm going to be reading it in Faneuil Hall,
Whoa.
in different community centers in Boston, and I also get a chance to do it at the main library in Cambridge.
Nice.
But the funny thing is, a couple of things occur to me. the honor of speaking and interacting Dr. King's words. I have a dream speech. Come on, who gets to do that? So I got to be on point. The other thing is, it's this whole journey, poetry, and now coming back with the PB&J is really bringing me aware of more of my gifts, which is kind of public speaking and promotion of others and good ideas. So, we're here, the Oddball Hour with PB&J.
Going pretty strong.
And I'm a mommy. And I just want to, did you all hear that? I'm slapping Chad on the proverbial back because he mentioned a few moms. I do have to give a shout out to January Gill O'Neill.
January Gill.
She's a mommy. She got 2 kids. She's organizing the Massachusetts Poetry Fest. Jennifer Jean, same thing. She's got a couple of kids too, and I'm a mommy too. So big ups to the moms who's really making the thing happen. It ain't easy. We're making the things happen.
January Gill's blog, I believe, is poetmom.blogspot.com for
Please
anyone
check
who wants
it
to
out.
check it out. And her book was also pretty phenomenal. She actually came by, I think it was a few Aprils ago, may have even been before April, but because she's very busy with that festival, I tried to get her in to try and promote the Massachusetts Poetry Festival, but she politely declined, saying anything before May is pretty impossible.
Did we talk about the Massachusetts Poetry Festival yet?
We did.
No, but we're gonna get to that. I do have to say we're gonna talk about more. We're gonna talk some more about Massachusetts Poetry Fest. A little bit about a local periodical that's coming out with maybe some people I think we might end on the Massachusetts Poetry Fest. But I know in this Oddball Hour, at this end of the month, with the PB&J crew, we gotta talk about Joe Go.
Yeah.
Because Joe Go is he's been around for years. He's down with Stone Soup, and I'm pretty sure a few poetry houses. I like to call them poetry houses because you feel at home. I feel at home with Stone Soup. So I just want to find out what's going on with Joe Go. He got cancer. He got money issues. What are we doing about it?
Well, we've done a lot so far, or I should say, when I say we, that's a little sounds a little too lofty.
Community.
The poetry community has done a lot. Oddball's share was to try and spread the word out, and we published a number of tribute poems.
For about 2 weeks, we had poets from...
Close to 2 weeks, we had poets by Charles Coe, Len Germanara. Who else?
We had plenty of poets.
We had some amazing.
Len the motorcycle poet.
And I met him.
Mark Goldfinger, I think, kicked us
Mark
off.
Goldfinger started off. Charles Coe went after that.
Really, Charles? Great.
Yeah. Charles Coe read it.
Great people involved. Now, the last time I saw Joe was in the summer.
It was during the 100,000 Poets for Change.
1,000 Poets for Change.
He was wearing a hat that said "pain" on it, and I immediately was I was like, who? I had never met Joe before, and I saw his hat. It said "pain" on it, and it made me interested. And I listened to his story, and I listened to the couple poems that he read, and we'll probably have a link to some of his poems on this podcast.
Oddball's actually just been getting a lot of hits because there's been a resurgence, and we'll get to this in a second, to give Joe more money, and therefore a lot of poems have been touched on and linked to in the last few weeks.
What we're trying to do, we're trying to get more poets to submit to Joe. For Joe's poems. We
did a section called Go Joe Go
Go Joe Go Go
in order to raise awareness and hopefully get people to donate. We actually got a lot of people from the Stone Soup scene to donate, and it was great. I will say this: I was this close to getting Robert Pinsky to donate. He politely declined to me.
Yeah.
The only reason I mention that, not to snub him or anything, because I liked it. He said he would do what he could because Joe was a dear friend of his.
Yeah.
So I almost want to think of Robert Pinsky being the crusader behind the scenes trying to spread word, because word did spread in the Massachusetts Poetry Festival website, spread word. A lot of websites spread word of Joe Go's flight.
Well, I think
Martin Espada,
Martin
yes.
Espada wrote
an amazing poem that was reblogged, reposted, linked multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
About Joe Go?
About Joe Go, yes.
So listen, you all are hearing about Joe Go. How do you say his last name?
Joe Gouveia. Joseph Joe Gouveia. Or Jose Joe Gouveia. Sorry, Joe.
The bottom
Joe
line
Gouveia.
is
He needs money.
The bottom line is Joe is a fantastic person. He's dealing with some hard times, and we love Joe at Oddball Magazine, and we want to help him any way we could. So we're trying to set up the GoFund. We're trying to just promote his GoFund, so he and also submit to get more artists involved. Although there's been many artists and poets who have been involved with Joe, we want more.
We do.
We want
So
more.
it seems
want
like,
a lot more.
I mean, we got Martin Espada. We're on the team. Mr. Penske. He's shouting out about it. I kind of have a feeling we were talking about some things that we won't reveal to you right now. It's a surprise. We got secrets, but we'll reveal to you later. We need to maybe raise some money and some more awareness. So, are you down?
Yeah.
I think we are.
Are you down?
I'm down.
I think you are down
I'm definitely
with
down.
the
I'm down,
Oddball
too.
Magazine, PB&J. We talked about Jogo, but I think there are some poems about Jogo. So I'm going to give you a taste of the music that you were listening to when we first started. The music we were listening to was Ninth Wonder. He did an awesome beat. I call it the honey beat because Erykah Badu then merged this beat into her lyrics. Of course, I'm Toni Bee, little commentator here. Poetry, music, and song is my thing. And of course, we're here with the Oddball Hour with P, Chad Parenteau, B, Toni Bee, and J, Jason Wright. Why don't we put this on pause, give you all a couple of rhythms, and we're going to get a poem ready. So tell me, friends, oh wait! I'm not supposed to be singing. Oops, I'm sorry.
Wow, that was interesting.
Tell me, friends, what you gonna do? Okay, but that's just me.
She has such a great
Hey,
voice.
we're back. Sorry, I didn't mean to bust all in with the music, but you know that's the honey bee.
I was gonna freestyle if
You
you.
was about to boom. Here we go. But
Joking,
we're just
joking.
gonna reel it back in.
I can't do it though.
We're just gonna reel it back in.
You got it.
We just wanted to give you a little taste. You know, we have a couple of hip hop people. We all kind of grew up in hip hop nation, and you know, we like our beats. And plus, we poets, so we got mad words. But you know, before we went on a quick little break, we were talking about Joe the brother, Joe Gouveia, Joe Gouveia, suffering from cancer. My man needs dollars. We want you all to contribute. Chad Parenteau says he has a GoFund.
There's a GoFundMe page that was started by a member of his family. They originally had the goal of raising $5,000, and this was prior to his surgery that took place in December.
Yeah.
The surgery was not entirely successful, and he's going to have to start chemo again.
He was, although the cancer wasn't. I mean, the surgery wasn't all successful.
It was partially successful.
Partially successful, but yeah, he is gonna have to go through some chemo. Definitely in the next couple.
So we have thoughts on our mind. We've been talking amongst ourselves, the PB&J crew, the Stone Soup, Oddball, and Be Cool. We were talking about, how can we raise some funds for him? So make sure you keep your ears out for that.
Definitely.
But right now, we have a poem. And the poem is by Jason Wright, editor of Oddball Magazine. And it's about Jogo. We're going to let him start.
So this poem is called A Special Jagged Thought, which is my column every Tuesday, dedicated to Joe Gouveia, and it's called 10 Angels, A New Journal. And it starts off, I hope you find healing in these words, my friend, for Joe. We suffer for something, makes us strong, a stitch in the fabric of life. We strive for something, makes us strong, makes us honest. I believe in angels, I really do. I believe in them, and healing hands are on you, man. And all our prayers are answered, because angels answer prayers. They hold the hands of doctors, anesthesiologists, nurses, and 10 angels hold the hands of cancer surgeons, and they heal. That's what they're here to do, heal. And poetry can heal you. Each positive stanza develops your strength like Polaroid cameras. I can see inside you. I really can't see inside you, but let my words in for a second. Let me paint you a picture of what I see inside you. I see a calming beam of healing light, a bright feeling, a warm feeling, so bright to look, a light that could cause your eyes to blind. It is encompassed by a blue sky and high curling waves. When you blink, pure sunshine escapes, and when you laugh, pure wind. And when you breathe, the sea changes, in and out, each breath growing stronger, causing clouds to form. So many clouds form, but you are surrounded by waves of light and wind, and the breeze calms you, causing you to smile. And each small scar is healing, and you are reading your poems out loud, and we are applauding every word. And I see seagulls on an early Cape Cod ocean morning, and I see you running through them as they scatter. You feel free, free from everything, free from cancer. I see you at a typewriter, and I see you smile, and I see you walking, kicking stones, and I see you writing in a new journal. And you sit down, and the sun shines, and you pull your hat down over your eyes. And I see the words on the page, and they read, "Today I walked on the beach, and I have never felt so alive. Today I am cancer-free. There must be angels watching over me. I beat cancer again. I beat cancer. There must be angels watching over me. I beat cancer." And the wind picks up a warm breeze, and you smile as you turn the page. Cancer-free.
And you've just heard Jason Wright, editor of Oddball magazine, write a poem about Joe Gouveia.
Gouveia.
Yep, Joe Go. I'm going to stick with Joe Go.
Just stick with Joe.
Joe Go, what's his real name?
Gouveia.
Joe Gouveia. Awesome poem. Talks about angels. Talks about the simple things in life. That's why we got some beats in this show, because we got all the words you would want. Thank you, Jason, for giving us your poem about Joe Go in the Oddball Hour with P, B, and J. Now we want to talk a little bit about something we know that's coming up. I think we can talk about this.
Yeah, we know.
I think we could talk about Scout Somerville.
Let's talk about some of those.
Just a little bit. I mean, we have to give love to our neighbors. We've been talking
Absolutely.
about Cambridge. As you know, let me let you know, on every Monday, Stone Soup presents poetry, open mic along with a feature. Contribute whatever amount you can, but come to the open mic. Get involved. It's at Out of the Blue Art Studio.
106 Prospect Street.
106 Prospect Street, right across from the Whole Foods. And we have an awesome host, Chad Parenteau. And sometimes I'll pop on the mic too.
And sometimes I go on after everyone's left and read. But it's not because everyone's left.
You have the responsibility, my friend, of heading the second half of the open mic.
Yeah.
Which has such dignitaries as James Van Looy,
Every Thursday in
Bill
Oddball.
Barnum.
Bill
Barnum. Bill Barnum.
You know,
Yes.
before we talk about Scout Somerville, and you know, we're trying to tell you, basically, come out to Stone Soup and get your poetry off. No swears. Your poetry off on the open mic. Check out the feature. So I did want to let you know that. But PB and J, I think we need to slip in. We need to definitely talk about Billy Barnum.
Bill Barnum.
I swear, like I almost cried when I saw him this week. I'm like, Bill Barnum.
Dude, Bill Barnum is a champion. He's a champion.
Bill Barnum, for those who do not know, actually suffered a fall and broke his right cheekbone. Had to stay in the hospital for a particular amount of time. He left the hospital and he ended up being pretty weakened. But then I started hearing reports that first I heard reports that he was raring to go to read again. Then I heard reports from Tom Tipton of the Out of the Blue Art Gallery that there was a body painting festival.
That's where
That
he
was-
showed up.
That's where he showed up.
He would show up there.
He's awesome.
I don't think well, the thing is that there used to be a poetry night at the Open Bark there every Saturday night. So he is a creature of habit. He goes where he knows there's going to be a show. And of course, because it's Billy Barnum and the Out of the Blue is like a second or third home to him. Bill Barnum has many homes. I shouldn't even say that Out of the Blue is a second home, but we are a home. The gallery is a home to him, and they let him perform.
Billy Barnum may have painted his body. We just don't know.
Can I ask you a question, Chad?
Yes.
To the people who do not know Bill Barnum, can I hear a little bit about who Bill Barnum is?
Bill, that is a good point because this is reaching out potentially to a national audience, and there are still people who
Don't know around Boston.
have no idea who he is. Though I have been trying to spread the word of Bill Barnum.
But that Barnum name, I know.
You know P.T. Barnum. You know but no, most people don't get that he's actually part of the Barnum. He's actually part of the Barnum and Bailey dynasty. He's actually part of the P.T. Barnum family. He's descended from them, and he actually started his career many years ago as a child, being a being in the mini clown car as actual clown as a kid.
Wow, is that
What?
Bill Barnum was Barnum and Bailey's, right?
Isn't that his family?
Is that
It is his
lineage or
family.
whatever?
And he lives in Boston still. He's been a performer on the street for years. He founded the he was a founder of the Fire of Prometheus group. And then later became a member of the Barnum and Buddha Poetry Circus, which actually did tours around the East Coast, particularly I think in Kentucky. They went to a lot of odd places, mostly because I think the co-founder of that, the man known as Buddha, actually had a second home down in some of the southern states. So he basically landed gigs for Bill Barnum and a host of other eccentric poets like Mick Cusimano, infamous Are You Out of It, and a host of others. And it was that's when I first was hearing about him. I didn't realize the backstory.
So has he been involved with Stone Soup as long as Jack Powers? Or did he just find us?
How did he find Stone Soup?
I think he was in the scene back in Beacon Hill. As a matter of fact, the James Van Loy poem talks about shows Bill Barnum, has a scene of Bill Barnum and the late Brother Blue, who passed away a couple of years ago. Brother Blue was an amazing storyteller and professor, and just Brother Blue is slightly easier to look up, and his funeral brought in hundreds of people just waiting to pay respects and love. He was a beloved figurehead and also a host of a storytelling reading that actually still goes on in his name every Tuesday night at the Out of the Blue Art Gallery.
Is that right?
Yes. And
so we saw Billy Barnum this week.
Oh,
who came in a walker, which was the first time I ever saw him need assistance. I'd never seen him in a walker before. And he actually performed using the walker and still implemented his miming and his direction.
I thought that he was one of his better performances.
And he actually did 5 poems. Bill Barnum has, to make it sound rather insensitively, a lot going on. He's dealing with cerebral palsy. He might be having surgery in relation to helping him breathe easier and helping him speak better. I don't know if that's been postponed because of the recent injury.
Now, how old is Bill Barnum?
I believe he's 87.
Thank you, Jason.
87.
Okay, so
87, and he speaks with a stutter, and he goes through, and when he went to the body painting festival, when he crashed that party, he read 5 poems there. And I think at first he said he was only going to do 2 poems.
I read his book
of Rare Design.
Of Rare Design.
So we have to segue here and say,
but not only
Billy Barnum, straight gangster, if he's coming to the mic at 87 years old,
you should.
After he left the hospital in a walker, stop fronting. Yeah. You need to get to the mic.
Get to the mic.
So make sure you roll through to Stone Soup every Monday night at, what's the address, fellas?
106 Prospect Street.
106 Prospect Street in Cambridge, Massachusetts, every Monday night. Now, I kind of get the feeling, Scout Somerville, Scout newspaper, periodical, we were going to talk about that. In Scout Somerville, I saw in the newspaper that they're going to be having a poetry feature. I've talked to one of the writers there, and actually one of the writers there is J-Pat.
J-Pat.
The gentleman who used to be the editor until just a few months ago in 2013, he was the editor at Dig, Boston newspaper. And so, me and J-Pap, I know him. That's my dude. And so, we've been talking a little bit about poetry. I know that Jason's been his name's been floated around because I floated it. And Chad Parenteau. But I'm not greedy. I know I brought up Jade Sylvan. I know I brought up all the other poetry houses. I do want to say that because PB&J, Stone Soup, Oddball, and Be Cool, we like to unify.
Unification.
Different skills, slam poets, page poets.
Can we talk a little
freestyle poets? So I do want to say, keep your eyes out for the every month, Scout Somerville magazine, but definitely around the March, April, May issue, you're definitely going to see some things about poets in Cambridge.
And Somerville.
I'll be picking it up as a Jamaica Plain poet and reading and saying, this is cool.
JP Somerville, Cambridge in the house. What's up, PB&J?
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to say one thing about...
Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah! Come on, Jason! Okay, we're not going to be silly. No. Let's segue back into our program.
Hold on. I just wanted to say... Sorry. Something is coming over me. All right. I just wanted to talk about Oddball for a second and about some of the things that we're bringing to the table. We're talking about unification.
Yeah.
We are not just a magazine of poetry. We in the last month we brought hip hop.
Was there gray?
Gray? We brought hip hop. We brought spoken word, and culture. I'll give you a little lowdown.
Culture DMC,
amazing guy
from Boston area.
He's the best. I'll give you a little lowdown of Oddball magazine Monday through Friday. What me and Chad do Monday through Friday, and Toni Bee. Monday we started off with 3TV. Now who's been on 3TV?
3TV. I can't tell you who's going up this week, but I can tell you that we have a host. I know AJ is going to be going up.
AJ.
Sooner rather than later, hopefully.
Yep. AJ's and Adelion Joseph.
Adelion Joseph.
One of the people who I'm excited that none of you guys would know but he's someone I think we're going to hear about sooner or later. He's the editor. He's one of the publishers of Walking is Still Honest Press.
Oh,
and he also does an Nostrovia poetry blog. He's an editor at The Kitchen Poet, which is which is a part of Underground Books. He does a lot, and he's a roving poet, and he's been sending us poetry videos. His name is Jeremiah Walton. And I think a lot of people are going to be excited. He's posted a couple of times at Stone Soup, and he's promoted his calls for submissions, but I'm going to be excited to introduce him to everybody else.
You know what? While we're on that subject, let's just talk about how you can submit to Oddball Magazine, because how can you submit to Oddball Magazine?
There's two ways to do it, and it seems like a little silly to some people.
Someone actually got me through Twitter. Someone did.
That is awesome.
They got me through Twitter.
We do have a submishmash or submit. I think it's called Submittable now, but we also still introduce Oddball Magazine at gmail.com.
I love it.
People wonder why do both? Why keep both? Because I know some people have limited access to Submittable. Some people might not have the internet capability, and a straight email sometimes works better. So we understand that. So both options are open.
So that's how you submit to Oddball Magazine. How do you become what about Stone Soup? So Oddball publishes every week. Every week. They try to publish at least Monday through Friday. So you have to get in touch with Jason Wright and or Chad Parenteau.
I'll give you my email.
How do you become a feature? I want to be a feature. Hey, I want to be a feature.
How do you
become a feature at Stone Soup?
Chad, how do you become a feature at Stone Soup?
I like people who come to the open mic and people who I can bring up, and I've used this phrase I think before, to put them over. I like people who are not just hungry to have like just their moment in the sun. In the past, I've given people. I don't want to give a person a feature too quickly. Sometimes I like introducing them to the crowd and having them build up the love and the respect. There's been a lot of people who I've been happy to do that for.
So it might take a little bit of showing your chops. Show your chops.
Show your chops.
On the mic.
Our open mic is very open to new voices. We always tell the person once they're done, come back.
You know what?
Please come back.
I just want to say, the first time I walked into Stone Soup, I didn't feel
we featured you. Which was the exception to the rule, but it was a very happy exception.
You're right. I don't know how that happened. Chad, how'd that happen?
I think it was classic Chad where I didn't have an opening and you had expressed interest.
Yeah.
And I thought, and I still have to post your videos from that first performance. And I do remember that people such as John Sturm, and I think even back then James Van Looy, I think he was there for it, really liked what you were doing and really were into what you were doing. And,
Wow.
and John Sturm, for those who don't know, is the man who I call the orator extraordinaire at Stone Soup. He's in his 50s, 60s. He recites other people's works. He's going through the entire Shakespeare sonnet catalog currently in recent weeks.
He memorizes them.
Shakespeare.
Yes.
Okay, all right. He memorizes Shakespeare. We did, from our first podcast, if you remember, we all were supposed to remember poems. And since I'm the lady, and I'm the only one who memorized her poem.
Excuse me?
I'm the only one who may have or may have not memorized her poem, I think.
Thank you.
For the fourth podcast that we do, we need to memorize poems. Right, Chad? And
we are all a little negligent in our homework assignment. Although actually personally speaking for myself, screw you, I memorized mine.
Screw us. As Chad said, there's 13 months out the year. So I think Jason and I, we just took an extra month.
Yeah.
But next month,
in
February,
I've been on vacation for the 13th month.
In February, you will hear our memorized poems. So
we will.
This is a red
make
ball.
sure, and one of us at this table, at least one or two of us at this table, we're going to be presented in Scout Somerville.
Maybe we should talk about it. Should we talk about that?
No,
Not any more than we already have.
Let's make them wait for it. Aren't you thirsty for us? You're thirsty to see what kind of juicy stones came out of our soup. So make sure you keep your eyes open for that. We're about to head out of here. We talked about a lot today. You heard a little bit of recaps about what we've been doing this year. My name is Toni Bee. This is the Oddball Hour with P, B, and J. P, Chad Parenteau. B, Toni Bee. And J, Jason Wright. We're about to get out of here. But before we get out of here, there's something we need to put on the radar. And what we need to put on the radar is the top of May in Salem, Massachusetts. We talked about a mommy, January Gill O'Neill. Homegirl organizes it all, along with some help from her awesome superhero sidekicks. But guess who's going to be featured in the Massachusetts Poetry Fest in Massachusetts, in Salem, in 2014? Chad?
It's Stone Soup Poetry presents Oddball Magazine, and I do my best to make myself the least important person, the least interesting person in the room, as I will be presenting Jason Wright, the editor of Oddball. Toni Bee, Oddball contributor.
Come on, Chad.
I'll also be presenting James Van Looy, whose column It's All One
It's
Thing.
all one thing.
It's all one thing.
I'm going to be presenting Chad Parenteau. Well, hey, look. Keep your ears open for the Mass Poetry Fest and your eyes on Facebook concerning Stone Soup, Oddball Magazine, and really, I'm not under the Be Cool guys, so you'll be hearing about Toni Bee. Hey, you have just listened to the Oddball Hour with P, B, and J. Chad Parenteau, Toni Bee, and Jason Wright. Isn't there poetry on Monday nights? Stone Soup, Prospect Street, in Cambridge, Mass. On Wednesday night,
Cantab Lounge.
We got Cantab Lounge. We got some open mic. We got some slammers. We urge you all to come there.
You get an open mic slot. You get an open mic slot.
No, I want to just say Tuesday. It's at the Burn in Somerville. It's a open mic, but it's on a stage, and Hugh is the guy who runs it. He's great. I used to play guitar. I mean, I do play guitar. I write poetry, and I'm concentrating on that. But it's a guitar open mic, and they have a bar. So hit it up Tuesdays at the Burn in Somerville.
Listen, in the end, you have no excuse. If Billy Barnum can bust his cheek or chin and jump back on the open mic at 87 years old, you have no excuse, poets, artists, singers, in getting on the mic. So, we're about to take you out of here. This has been the Oddball Hour with
Chad Parenteau,
Toni Bee, and
J-Dog.
And we're about to roll out of here, but we have to roll out of here with just a little bit of music. We hope that you have enjoyed Ninth Wonder his Honey song. Miss Erica Badu has grabbed this awesome beat and created music. We also want to mention me and Jason, at least I am, probably going to go see Ninth Wonder tomorrow night. It's the end of January, 13th month of the 2013 year. We're about to do it. Are we about to do it?
We're going to do it.
We're about to do it.
We're going to do it.
We are. Yes.
Thank you all for coming to the Oddball Hour.
We're going to be okay.
Of course, we're poets, so we're the type of people, we're a little different. This Oddball Hour cast has gone for 47 minutes, and we hope that you enjoy it. Stay writing poetry all the time.
Yep. All right. Cool. We out. Good. Yeah.